Imagine it's 2:17 in the morning. Your body wants sleep, but your brain has other plans. Tonight, it wants answers. You're replaying a conversation that happened years ago. Somehow, it still doesn't feel finished. The joke, the awkward silence. Then, that look on someone's face. Did they secretly think you were an idiot? Or are you imagining the whole thing? Most people think overthinking means having too many thoughts. That sounds logical, but it isn't actually what's happening. Your brain creates thousands of thoughts every single day. Most disappear almost instantly. The real mystery is why one refuses to leave. Some thoughts drift away like clouds. Others unpack their bags and quietly move in. If this happens to you, it doesn't mean you're anxious. It doesn't mean you're weak. And it certainly doesn't mean you're broken. In fact, many people who overthink have something in common. They're naturally curious. They notice details that other people walk straight past. That curiosity is an incredible strength. It helps you solve problems, recognize patterns, ask better questions. But every strength comes with a hidden cost. To understand that cost, we have to investigate somewhere most people never think to look. Inside the brain itself. Because while you thought nothing was happening during those sleepless nights, your brain was quietly running. One of the most fascinating systems in human biology. That system has been protecting us for thousands of years. Your brain isn't trying to torture you, it's trying to protect you. Deep inside your brain is a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. Think of it as your brain's early warning system. Long before modern life existed, this tiny part of your brain helped our ancestors survive. Its job is simple: detect danger, react quickly, keep you alive. It doesn't stop to analyze every situation. It reacts first and asks questions later. Thousands of years ago, that danger might have been a predator hiding in the trees. One wrong decision could have been fatal. Today, it's more likely to be an embarrassing memory, an awkward conversation, or a future mistake you haven't even made yet. The dangers have changed, but your brain still uses the same ancient alarm system. To your amygdala, those situations can feel surprisingly similar. It isn't measuring social embarrassment, it's measuring potential threat. When something feels important, your brain tags it, not with words, but with emotion. That emotional tag is created by powerful chemical messengers, including adrenaline and cortisol. These chemicals make certain moments stand out, so they're harder to forget. These chemicals don't just prepare your body for action, they also tell your brain, this matters. Remember this. You might need it again. The stronger the emotion, the stronger the memory becomes. That's why emotional memories often stay with us far longer than ordinary ones. That's why your brain can replay one awkward moment again and again and again. Not because it's obsessed, but because it believes there's still something to learn. Not because it wants to make you suffer, but because it genuinely believes it's helping you avoid making the same mistake twice. But here's the good news. Just because your brain works this way doesn't mean you're stuck with it. Because the same brain that created those emotional tags can also update them. Your brain is constantly learning and constantly adapting. Every time you revisit a memory, your brain has a chance to rewrite what it means. Not the facts, but the emotional meaning attached to them. Psychologists call this memory reconsolidation. It's one of the brain's most remarkable abilities. When you recall a memory, it briefly becomes flexible again, almost like opening a saved document, making a few changes, and saving it again. That means Every time your brain replays an old memory, it's also giving you another chance to update what that memory teaches you. The goal isn't to erase the memory, it's to help your brain realize that you're no longer the same person who experienced it. Instead of asking, "Why do I keep thinking about this?" try asking, "What is my brain trying to protect me from?" That simple question changes everything, because curiosity is far more powerful than self-criticism. Once you understand the lesson, your brain no longer has to shout. It no longer has to keep sounding the alarm. The memory may still exist, but it no longer controls you. Instead, it simply becomes part of your story. And perhaps that's the real goal, not to forget the past, but to finally make peace with it. So the next time your mind begins replaying an old memory, pause for a moment. Instead of asking, "Why can't I let this go?" ask yourself, "What is my brain trying to protect me from?" You might be surprised by the answer. Because behind almost every painful memory is something your brain believes is important to remember. Once you understand what it's really trying to protect, everything begins to change. The memory doesn't disappear. It simply stops being in charge. You'll still remember what happened, but you'll also remember how much you've grown since then. That's the difference between carrying your past and being controlled by it. Healing isn't forgetting, it's remembering without having to relive it. And one day, without even noticing, you'll realize you stopped searching for answers. Not because you solved every mystery, but because you finally understood enough. This has been Thinkory. Join our detective on the next investigation. But until then, follow the clues.